Hi, I'm Scott-Terrell, and today I want to talk about depression. It is a serious emotion and disorder that many people experience on a daily basis, and I'd like to give you some techniques and some tools to perhaps alleviate altogether or at least help to manage the terrible symptoms of depression. Let's define it first. It's a tricky emotion, and the definition given by Webster is a state of feeling sad, a serious medical condition in which a person feels hopeless, sad, unimportant, and unable to offer or alter their life or to live in a normal way. That's the Merriam-Webster definition. The clinical definition is a mood disorder that causes a persistent feeling of sadness and loss of interest, more than just a bout with the blues, and many people cannot snap out of it. So often people are told, oh, just snap out of it, or don't worry about it, it'll go away. But sometimes it's more serious than that. And before I continue on to the tips and talk more about the tools, I want to let you know right now, if you have had the blues or about with being down in the dumps for 2 weeks or longer, and it just won't go away and nothing seems to help to relieve the pain, please, by all means, seek professional attention. Get some medical help, possibly be prescribed medication. Don't be ashamed of any kind of stigmatism that's attached to it, but do what you have to do to feel better. So let's just start there. But here are the tips and tools that I have for depression that many of us experience often. And I've been able to overcome having bouts with depression by trying some of the following tools. This is not a time to explore your deepest, darkest, heaviest revelations or whatever you want to look for. At that time, you really don't want to be real deep and real dark. When you're feeling blue and already feeling down in the dumps, it's probably not a good idea to really have those deep thoughts and those sad, gut-wrenching moments that can really take our minds to another level. It's amazing where our minds can go if we allow them. Also, it's a good idea at this time to avoid depressants of any kind, and that includes alcohol, cannabis, barbiturates, etc. Any types of drugs that are depressants or in the depressant categories are drugs that you want to avoid. And here's some reasons why. The short-term effects of a depressant cause depression. People really don't want to admit that, or they don't really want to deal with the fact, but it indeed causes depression. And if you are intoxicated and you do things outside of yourself or do things that you would not ordinarily do if you were not intoxicated, then you have to clean up all that you did while you were intoxicated, and you still have to deal with the problem when you come down from your high or from your intoxication, and you have to deal with the hangover. So it's really a good idea to kind of avoid those types of things when you're already down in the dumps. These are some other things that depressants cause, and that's fever, it slows brain function, it makes it difficult to urinate, slurs speech, gives you fatigue, lowered blood pressure, dizziness, confusion, poor concentration, disorientation, dilated pupils, addiction, sluggishness, slow pulse, and slow breathing. It also slows brain function and fever, if I haven't mentioned those two already. So you really have to be careful. Is it really worth that, or would you really just rather manage the emotion or the disorder of depression head on? Here are some tips that I also wanted to give you in addition to avoiding deep, dark things during the times of being depressed or experiencing the blues. But also you want to, as I stated before, avoid depressants. And here are some additional things that may be very helpful with helping to manage that depression that you feel sometimes. We all have experienced it, so don't be ashamed. Try to be around people, ideally people that know, love, and care about you. But it's really not a good time to be isolative and withdrawn. If you've already been experiencing depression, it's not a good time to be withdrawn, close the curtains, I just want to be alone. Even though that's what we're inclined to do, it's really not going to get us the best results to get us out of the depression. It's easy to embrace it. It's easy to just stay in bed and just stay away from everybody until I can get myself together. But it's really beneficial if you try not to do those things. Go on a television and social media and radio, maybe even fast. By fast, I mean abstaining from being on social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and refrain from watching television or listening to the radio just for a short amount of time. I'm not saying just indefinitely stop watching or paying attention to those things, but a lot of times there may be things on social media or on television or on the radio that can either be bad news that really feeds into your spirit, into your psyche, that makes you feel bad, and it also can, specifically, social media can cause depression if you have people, friends and family on there who are doing things that you wish you were doing and are not at the current moment, and it could make you a little depressed. And a lot of times our minds won't let us say, well, we don't know what the real story is behind that. We just see a picture on Facebook and, sometimes our minds will wander and take us to places where we shouldn't go, particularly if we're not in a place where we're on solid footing and we're feeling depressed. So just try to avoid those things. Avoid anything dark. Dark clothing, dark music, dark movies. Just try to keep everything light. I like to laugh, and so comedy is something that I like all the time, but just really try to be more upbeat. A lot of times if you're depressed and you've been crying and you look in the mirror and you're so pitiful, and then you see yourself in the mirror and you're like, oh my God, it's really worse than I thought, look at me. It really takes you to another level. So really try to dress up, spruce yourself up, and look the best you can, and be out and about instead of in and by yourself. Meditate. It means a lot of different things for different people, but when I say meditate, I mean clearing your mind of all thoughts and really getting in tune to your spiritual self. For me, it would be having scriptures in my mind that I bring to my remembrance or bring to my memory, and meditating on those things. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. God gives us the spirit of joy for a spirit of heaviness. Those are the types of things, either scriptures or positive affirmations, that I kind of recite in my mind when I say I'm meditating. There are various and sundry ways to do it, but you can go on YouTube, you can go to Barnes and Noble, you can find books and different recordings of how to meditate in a way that's comfortable for you. Clear your mind particularly of the thoughts that sadden you. If there are thoughts that make you sad and feel blue, then you definitely don't want to meditate on those particular thoughts, particularly in moments of sadness and darkness. Physical exercise, believe it or not, is good for depression. It actually releases endorphins that interact with the brain and sends the brain's messages that lessen the pain or sometimes even alleviate it altogether. Sometimes I've heard people say that they've exercised and forgotten all about their depressive symptoms, and the anxiety has just gone away once they've done some exercise. So make sure you do that. The endorphins also trigger feelings that increase your mood and improve your mood, and so that's definitely something that you want to do during the times of depression. Get plenty of rest. Make sure that you're eating a balanced diet and that you're sleeping enough hours. Some people don't function well on less than 8 hours. Some people function terribly when they've gotten too much sleep. So make sure that you've gotten the amount of sleep that's good for you, and eat a balanced diet full of veggies and fruits and whole grains and some protein. Well, plenty of protein, but some people eat meat, some people don't. But make sure that your diet is balanced and healthy at that time, or actually all the time. It's good for us all the time. Plan a vacation. Now that sounds like fun. Even if you don't go or you can't go right away, sometimes planning a vacation and just fantasizing about being somewhere exotic or fun can kind of help to alleviate the negative feelings and improve your mood. So make sure that you do that. Also, journal and or write a letter to or about the distressing situation or to the person who is upsetting you. Even if you don't give them the letter, which I strongly recommend that you're careful about, writing the letter is therapeutic, and so that's something that you can do, and it works for some people. Some people feel silly writing a letter to someone that they're not going to ever see again, or that they are not going to ever give the letter to, but it really can be cathartic. Also, do a vision board. A lot of times it's depressing to see yourself in a situation and you feel stuck. But if you do a vision board and put it somewhere where you can see it, you can make steps towards fulfilling that vision. And anytime we're being pulled towards the things that we want to do and the things that we feel in our heart that we should be doing, our mood is improved, thus our life in general is improved. Try to smile and laugh as much as possible. For me, that goes without saying. I'm always laughing and smiling, and my family members say sometimes she'll just laugh for no reason. Really, it's a reason for me. It's something that may have been said or something that I've heard that other people didn't hear, or something going on in my head. I might have a memory of something that happened that was funny, but I laugh and smile all the time, and it's definitely a medicine. Talk to people in your support circle. Talk to them about what's going on and why you're sad and why you're upset. And even if it's just a listening ear, it always and also helps when you are talking to somebody that cares and loves you. Listen to upbeat music. I listen to music from all over the world. I grew up in a musical household, and there was always all types of music playing or being performed, or that I was performing, and upbeat music always lifts your spirits. And music from all over the world, like calypso music and some of the reggae music, that upbeat music. How can you be depressed and hear that type of music? How can you eat ice cream and be depressed? That's another thing that I've told people to do. Just eat a bowl of ice cream. Eat some jelly and crackers. How can you be depressed when you're eating one of those guilty pleasures that is comfort food and that's fun for that moment. Also, give. If not the most important, it's one of the most important things, if not the most important thing. Give. Give to somebody else. Get you off your mind for a moment. Go do some charitable work. Go to your church or your synagogue and give of your time and of your energy. Help some neighbors, some elderly neighbors in the neighborhood, in the community, or help some youth that are at risk, even if it's just a quick, pull your pants up, boy, or something just outside of yourself to make the world a better place. Whenever we get ourselves off of our minds, and we concentrate on helping other people, that's an immediate lifter of our spirits. So bear in mind those things, and I hope that one or more of those things can help you to alleviate or at least manage depressive symptoms. Thank you so much. I'm Scott-Terrell with Images Motivational Consultant Agency, and I look forward to working with you soon. Have a great day.